That's what it is.
Tom, you wanted to say something.
So we got rid of the certified registrar January 1 last year.
2011.
2011. And you said Mayor Harry Wyatt had this open offer to do it. Why wasn't it done then? Why didn't it get done? Why did we go an entire year of
We didn't.
violating the law?
Well, Kim didn't name the person with the state. You'd have to ask Kim that question.
Mayor,
I didn't have authorization to.
The township clerk names the deputy registrar.
And I
Under suggestion of the township council.
I have approval from the town, from the other town to name her. And in talking with Michelle, they said that they would cover for me if I was out on vacation. However, to be my deputy registrar permanently and name one of hers, she was not in agreement.
Did we ever have an example where somebody came in? Are you familiar that where the deputy registrar was needed and it wasn't available?
Well, if you weren't here, you wouldn't have known about it, right?
Well, the ladies in the office would know about it. They're here when residents come in.
You know, Tanya, for the record, you had all of last year to address budgetary issues, to address these issues, and you did nothing. Okay, now this committee is taking action, and quite honestly, we're rolling up our sleeves and we're making the tough decisions. And you know, your political speech and still an unwilling to embrace the economic realities when you had an opportunity to do it, I would commend you to seriously think about your role here as a member of the Township Committee and to start serving the people that elected you and to start doing the hard work as opposed to continuously just trying to throw up roadblocks and doing cross-examinations, because quite honestly, you're wasting everybody's time.
I sure, yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
how
can I say something, please? I think one of the issues we have here is that there was a lot just thrown out here to everyone, to you, to us. It was the first time we're hearing all this, the numbers and all the things that the mayor has done. It's a nice job. You know, he threw out some nice numbers and all that, you know, and we want to save money for, because I'm a taxpayer too, so of course I want to save money for myself. But the issue here is that this is not something that we should have went downstairs for a half hour, 40 minutes, whatever time we were away, and sat down and discussed in that short time period, and then come up here and say, okay, now we're going to terminate somebody, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. This is something, again, and it was raised at the last meeting, that it should involve all of us, where we sit down and go over these things. You know, obviously, Mayor, you had to have all this stuff in front of you before. This is something that you just drew up today. So you must have had this before. And if it takes calling a special meeting for us to sit down and do this, and the attorneys can tell me if I'm incorrect with this, we should do that. We should sit down as a committee again and discuss all this stuff so that we don't take 40 minutes to just make all these decisions and come up here and, you know, impact someone's life, you know, by telling them that they're terminated, and, you know, and having us decide in that 40 minutes what we're going to do. I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot of stuff that we went downstairs to talk about and then to come back up here to do. The other thing I'd like to say is that, you know, you continue to throw out a lot of jabs and attacks, especially towards, you know, Committee Siegel's way. And I'll say, you know, I was on the committee for only 1 year so far. And in that time period, I feel that the former committee that we had here did a good job. Now, albeit it may not have been perfect, there may have been mistakes that were made, but I can't think of any township committee or any government service that doesn't make mistakes. You know, we all worked very hard to try to do the right things for this township. And I think sitting here and attacking each other is not the way to go about it. What we should be doing is sitting here and trying to work these things out together and and do what's right for this township.
That's right.
So, you know, that's all I got to say on this. And the other thing I will say too is, as far as Ms. Brown goes, you know, and I am against letting her go, because I've seen the work that Ms. Brown has done. I've seen the hours that she's put in you know, for this township, on her own, countless Saturdays. I can't tell you how many times I came by and seen her car out there, and I walked in and said, what are you doing? You know, I understand. It's just.
Then don't make it a performance
Okay,
issue, because
well,
I feel bad because
okay.
I'm not thinking that
It's
way.
just-
And you're putting that assumption that I am doing that.
I'm not putting any assumptions on anyone. I said for myself. I'm not assuming for any of these, okay? I'm just talking for myself. You know, and I think that, you know, we didn't even offer an opportunity, I don't know if can I say this, that we didn't even offer an opportunity?
You can say whatever you like.
Okay. You know, we didn't even come forward and offer the opportunity to Ms. Brown to see if she would work under the conditions that we're looking for someone else to work. And I think that's unfair, because she is a good employee. You
So
know,
why wasn't that offered up?
She's not a deputy registrar.
You take 3 classes within 3 months and you.
Look, again, you had all this time to address this, we are addressing it, and you keep going back, you could've, you know what, when you didn't do it, we're rolling up our sleeves tonight and we're
You
doing
know
it.
something, I wanna say one more thing. Don't tell me again that I'm politicizing something. I am not up for reelection, okay? So I'm not politicizing anyone. I have the residents at heart here as well as you do. I'm a taxpayer, I pay into the sewer fund, trust me, I have their interests at heart, okay? So don't tell me I'm politicizing things. When the decisions and the ordinance being amended and the rehiring of Miriam Marqueta and the termination of Sharon Brown, this is not transparency that you ran on. So
We're
don't.
doing it in a meeting right now, so
Oh,
I take exception to your
Let me ask a question.
statement.
Do you really think that when a company makes a decision like this to terminate an employee or hire an employee, do you think they snap their finger and says, we're gonna do this? No, it's discussed. It's discussed. You didn't come here with a recommendation to this committee tonight. You came here with your decisions made.
No,
Did you
we haven't
discuss the
voted yet.
termination of Miriam Marqueta?
Brent, I don't know
She wasn't even rights
wait,
notice.
I think this might be helpful, Brent.
Terminated.
Both Dan and Tanya seem to allude to the need to have in meetings, in preparation of meetings, and it might be helpful to just go over the sunshine law and why we're actually having a meeting now, and that we can't have a meeting as a group without it being noticed.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
this
why I
is,
think you definitely need
it's
to be reminded of that.
It's circular reasoning,
Yeah, I
okay?
think you definitely
So-
need to be reminded of that, Joe, because obviously there's meetings being had.
Okay, is there anything else to add?
Yeah, I'd like to add that I think I did state that if it takes advertising meetings for us to get together, I think I did state that, if I'm not mistaken. So I do understand that, Joan. Please don't talk down to me or to any of the other committee members out here, because you do get condescending at some points, and it's not right, you know? We're all here as equals, and speak to us in the proper tone. You keep correcting Ms. Siegel in the way she speaks. You know, I'm gonna say to you that the condensation, you know, the condescending tone that you take with us sometimes, it's not appreciated.
Is there anything else to add?
No,
I'm-
I have something I feel. What was done, you're talking about the procedures of how we're letting people go. How did it go with Miriam Marqueta? We just showed up on January 1 and she was out? Was she rights noticed properly to have a forum like this? Dan?
You don't need to raise notice for a restructure.
Is that not what we're
Sharon
doing?
didn't need
Is
to
that
be,
not what we're doing right now?
Sharon didn't need to be raised notice
So-
tonight either for restructure.
So
Right,
what
but
I'm
we did that
hearing
in
is we
respect
provided
to-
more than what you did.
Right, absolutely, more transparency and more respect, of which you did not give to Ms.
Why don't
Marqueta.
you ask Sharon if she's feeling respected tonight?
I'd like to call for a motion now to terminate the employment of Sharon Brown.
I'll make the motion.
Of
Anyone
course you
second
would.
it?
Of course you would.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call,
Discussion.
discussion,
Why don't we open up for public comment first?
discussion,
How many of you would like it opened up for public comment?
Discussion.
discussion
They want it
first.
opened up for public comment. I'm seeing heads
Tanya.
nodding.
Tanya, I'm asking,
Brent,
is there
can we open this
discussion?
up for public comment?
You have a
She's out of
motion,
order.
you have a motion, a second, a discussion amongst township committee.
Right.
And then you can call for a vote. If you after that would like to call for a motion to open the public comment again, you can do that.
So I can't request that before we take a vote?
Here's a motion, roll call, please, roll call.
I've asked Brent a
Just-
question.
just-
I've asked Brent a question.
Just a second. You can make a motion to open the public comment at any time.
I'd like to make that motion right now.
First, we're gonna vote on the motion to vote.
I would like to open it up.
And then
I'd like
we
to
will
make a
address that.
motion for public comment.
What do I do about that?
You have a motion on the table right now
She's out of order.
and a second. You're having discussion. You need to either you need to do a
Roll
roll
call.
call.
Roll call, please.
Perez,
What is this one on?
I
Determine
don't-
Sharon Brown.
Can I would like to
Roll
make.
call,
No,
please.
I would like one more Brent, are we able, we have public that would like to make a comment.
Deal
And
with
we're
that
not
next.
allowing the public to make a comment before this vote is taken. And I think that's unconscionable. I really do. It's unconscionable.
The law provides that you need to have at least one public comment period during your meeting. You have that public comment period. If you want to open up for further public comment, you can do that at any time. Right now, there is a pending motion on the table to terminate Sharon Brown that has a second. You're in discussion.
Then I'm not ready to take the vote yet, so you have to give me a minute. You have to
Roll
give me a
call,
minute.
please.
I'm not ready for the roll call.
Roll call.
I'm not ready for the roll call.
Then she doesn't vote. Roll call, please.
No, you can't do that. We're in the discussion period, Joe. I'm not finished, I'm reviewing my notes.
I would wait for the discussion to be complete, so why don't we just wait for her to review her notes, finish this discussion, and then you can go into the roll
Okay,
call.
so I wanna go back to, I have a and this ties into it. There you go with your smirk, Joe. Stop it. I asked a question around, other employees that weren't rice noticed that should be rice noticed tonight. When will that discussion take place? When will that discussion take place on the other employee that should have been rice noticed?
Upon the completion of the investigation, that obviously I've been here now 9 days. I've got a lot of stuff.
What has nothing to do with the investigation, it's other performance issues.
No, but it's a discussion of, no, but there's also a discussion of performance, which is a rights noticeable event, but it ties into the letters that went back and forth amongst
No,
attorneys.
it doesn't tie into that. It was outside of that. And I asked for an employee to be rice noticed, and that employee wasn't rice noticed, and I was told by my attorney that we can have that discussion. It has nothing to do with the letters that went back and forth.
I believe I told you yesterday, Ms. Siegel, that until the investigation is complete, then we would handle everything in one shot.
Greg, who does this have to do with the vote?
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
I would defer to full discussion before you vote, just
Okay.
in abundance of caution.
I knew that I had another question. Policy changes. For the employee that's here for this open discussion, Sharon Brown, at the last meeting, we talked about, it seemed as though there was a policy change made and it wasn't discussed with us. We said we were gonna discuss it in an executive session, we never did. An employee was told that she couldn't take, phone calls, personal phone calls during the day, and that was not implemented across the board. When was that policy change voted on, and did it apply to all employees?
Any other comments?
I'm asking a question.
And I've answered that at the last meeting.
No, it wasn't answered at
I'm
the,
not-
Dan, was it answered at the last meeting?
No, it wasn't. You were told we were talking about an executive session.
Did we talk about it in an executive
No, we
session?
didn't.
No, we forgot about it. So,
Roll
was there a
call,
policy
please.
change, and did we vote on it, and did it apply to all employees?
Roll call, please.
Okay.
Yeah, roll call, please.
And this is the roll call for,
Termination of employment of Sharon Brown.
Perez,
Based on reduction.
Yeah, based on reduction.
no,
Siegel,
Absolutely not.
Emiliani,
Yes.
Valari,
Yes.
Toriello.
Yes. Now, the second motion that was made to open up for public comment, is there a second for that?
Second.
You made it first.
I'll second.
Sorry.
Okay. Roll call?
Perez,
Yes.
Siegel,
Yes.
Emiliani,
No.
Valari,
Yes.
Toriello.
Yes. Is there anybody who wishes to come to the podium and make public comment? Seeing one hand. I almost said seeing no hands.
I want to jump front of it. Trevor Hill, 529 North Main Street. The planning secretary, is that a replacement?
Yes.
Okay, same,
It's-
same
it's 50
salary?
It's the same salary.
Okay. I remember reviewing the contract for the shared services agreement of the CFO/treasurer. I don't recall seeing that in the contract that her responsibilities were also gonna be tax collector, assistant tax collector, and sewer. So was that gonna need to be renegotiated? Was that gonna end up then costing us more money?
No.
Okay. It's my understanding that Sharon was also recently put through tax school to be a tax assessor. Whether or not, though, the funds for that were thought about, that we just invested that money into an employee to be able to take on that position. Did we think about that, you know, we just basically wasted that money then? And is the new CFO/treasurer still contracted at just 2 days a week? And she now has 2 more responsibilities. Is that really a service to the taxpayer? Now all of a sudden, you know, Elaine, I'm not gonna say quoting you, because I don't remember exactly how you put it, but we need to have the people here to service the taxpayer. But she's only gonna be here 2 days a week, and she now has the position of payroll, CFO, treasurer, sewer collector, tax collector. Is that really in the best interest of the taxpayer, because she's only gonna be here 2 days a week? And then on top of it, all the other duties that she's gonna have, you know, supplying numbers for the police chief, Kim, whatever it happens to be. It seems like an awful lot of work for somebody for just 2 days a week. Whether or not any of that was, you know, was thought about.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I have a question about the numbers. You stated that last year it was 94 some odd K, I round, and this year it's 53K, so I come up to 41K. Where's the 83 coming from? The delta between what was paid out last year for all the positions you listed versus what will be paid out this year. Last year you said it was 94.6, and this year it's 53, for a savings of what I come out to 41K, so I must have missed something. 2 years. 2-year agreement.
It's, yeah, it was 94,64406, and then 53, which is a savings of 41,64406 over the 2-year shared services agreement is 83,288.
Okay, so it's 41K annually.
Annually,
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
so,
Correct.
okay, that's the part that I missed.
Right.
And just a comment, I came here not really knowing what this meeting was about, just that there was a special meeting going on. And I'm not sure I'm even closer to understanding what happened. I wish there was more meaningful discussion going on. I think I've wished that of the Township Committee for years, and I hope to eventually see it. I did understand the need for reducing budget, I totally appreciate that. I don't understand how you come in, you hire someone for somebody else's position that you've yet to vote on firing. That didn't make any sense to me, so I'm not any closer to actually understanding the process. So if you would take that under consideration, maybe be a little bit more transparent, as you said.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Louis Carter Bona from Alpha Borough. And especially since the gentleman had asked about whether it was a good decision. What I want to say is that Lorraine Rossetti is an exceptional CFO. I've worked with her as a town resident and taxpayer countless times, and I actually thought, you know, for the value that we had someone who could be working for some corporation for a lot more money. So this agreement should work out, okay? On the other hand, I have never seen such a dysfunctional council meeting in my life, or committee. And I think Mr. Perez made a good point about trying to work together on these things. And the fact that people are coming up here, having a public session and talking reasonably about the issues, could have been done before the vote. I think Mr. Siegel had made a motion that kind of was discounted because of the friction between this board. And it wouldn't really matter if you had your
justifications and you listen to the public, at least you make the public believe that there was involvement. Okay, maybe some of the people in the audience didn't feel that they actually had as much involvement as they wish they would have. But I know that you're looking at $41,000. You mentioned $500,000 in the hall. Is that per year or per 2 years? Because the 81 or 83,000 you were mentioning was a 2-year figure. Because I'm looking to get our town to have shared service agreements, maybe with the police. I know maybe there's some discussion with the executive. I'm not sure exactly where that stands with this board. But we have better service at the same price, or the same service at a lower price. I think all taxpayers are going to benefit. We are suffering out here. I know they might say 1 or 2 percentage points in the tenths of increased employment, but there's so many people out of work, so many people who can't, they're 2 years behind on their mortgages. I see this every day, and I'm meeting new people every day, and it's really bad out here. So you have to make tough decisions, and I can respect the tough decisions you have to make. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
How deep of a hole are we in now?
We have to come up to the podium.
And state,
Name and
yeah,
address.
name
7
and
to Van
address.
Rickline Hill Road. How deep of the hole are we in now?
The address number.
Your address, just say.
213.
Thank you.
Can't miss it. Big White House.
We are $205,000 in the hole on the budget, and we borrowed $300,000 from the sewer surplus to really hide some of the other
talking about over
inefficiencies. So
five.
we're talking about 500, 200 that has to be addressed immediately.
500.
500 total.
Not
correct.
from last year.
But
I think. we
No,
can
no,
compare
I said
not-
200. The 300 is from the sewer surplus.
total.
But the three.
Total.
But
Total's about 500.
Correct.
But 205 from last year, and 100 of that 205 is borrowed against this year's budget.
Right.
So it's still, basically, we're in the hole about $500,000.
We need to make up 500,000.
I think we got a lot more cutting to do.
You can't close the door, Stephen.
I know, but $500,000, that's not chump change. I knew I should go there.
Jim Adams, 210 Oldham Road, former committeeman. Boy, am I glad I'm in the audience tonight. First off, I really appreciate the efforts that the Township Committee is making in moving towards a shared services. And to you, Tom, for what you have done, apparently, from your comments down in Atlantic City, taking the bull by the horns and actually banging down doors to get an education for yourself and find out how to do things with regards to shared services. When I look upon the board, that's the kind of attitude I like to see. And I think that attitude really gets at the heart of the matter here. And it is doing your township job for the benefit of your tax base. Some people may have lost sight of that. I know we have attempted shared services in the past. Even in the future, we can continue down that path. I believe it was around Aqua Water, I think was the company, to manage 24/7 total sewer service and completely take that function out of the township. I don't believe it's based on performance, and unfortunately, all of this had to play out in a public forum. I understand the transparency, and I just think we're taking a step in the right direction here. We're dying, and shared services is a route. We have attempted to do similar things in the past, and were blocked, quite frankly. And I'm glad the Township Committee has moved things in the right direction. So, from the taxpayer in me, thank you.
Any other public comment?
Renee Beardon Kilgareth, I'm the attorney for Sharon Brown. Our office is 84 Park Avenue, Flemington, New Jersey. I heard it, you made the decision, trying to find out where Sharon goes from here. Did she get a letter explaining explaining the reasons? Is it a simple termination letter? Logistically, what does she do going forward?
I hear your question, so did our labor council, so our labor council will correct.
Okay.
He will handle the matter as he deems appropriate, so, but thank you for your question. I don't wanna speak without my, our attorney speak.
Yes, law office is Salvatore P. DeFazio, D-I-F-A-Z-I-O. I have no comment. Thank you.
Sure. Any other public comment? Is there a motion to close public comment?
Make the motion.
Second. Roll call?
Chris?
Yes.
Siegel? Miliani? Yes. Lori?
Yes.
Oriola?
Yes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Did you say something before we adjourn?
I just wanna say, can I speak to Ms. Brown? Is that okay?
You're speaking to everybody.
I'm speaking to anyone, but it's directed to Ms. Brown. I just wanna say that I am sorry to see you go, Sharon. I've worked closely with you many times, and I know the hard work and dedication that you gave to this town. You were an outstanding, and this is my opinion, I'm not speaking for anyone here. In my opinion, you are an outstanding employee. And I think that this is a big loss for us and for the township, because I know what you did for this town when they came in, how cordial you were to them, and all the things that you would do for a lot of people, for a lot of the employees of this town, the volunteers, the time that you put out, the effort you put out, as I stated before, the many hours that you put in that you weren't paid. And I know that there were a lot of hours. I wish I had tracked it, as I could say. But I just wish you good luck in whatever you go out to do, whatever your endeavors are. And again, I just want to say that I think that we are going to be at a big loss. We may have saved some money in this move here, and I'm not belittling anyone who's coming in, but I think that the township is going to suffer by losing you. And that's what I want to say to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment too. I'm not gonna read all the comments, but we actually, for Sharon's performance review for the year, we went out to some of the professionals and some of the employees that she dealt with every day, and they had nothing but outstanding feedback for her. They were so appreciative of her work, and I will say that it's a darn shame that we have eliminated her work to the point where she's no longer going to be an employee. So that's all I have to say on it. Thank you very much, Sharon. I really, you're an exemplary employee. I really appreciate all the hard work that you've done. So that's all I'll say on that topic, and I do have another topic that I'd like to just raise. So can I go ahead and do that before we adjourn? So I'll be in a thorn in your side one more time, so just to make your evening for you, Joe. What I'd like to do actually is, at the last, I think it was the last meeting, we appointed a new labor attorney who's here this evening, as well as, we had a discussion around special counsel for the litigation that's currently pending, that's being worked by,
Is this
Jerry.
something you can state in public?
It's pending litigation.
no, I'm not talking about the pending, I'm talking about the attorney. I'm not talking about the litigation, I'm talking about the attorney.
Okay.
Okay?
Is it on the agenda for notice or not?
Elaine,
Well-
the public notice states that,
Wait, just so I
Okay.
have a clarification,
Okay.
because for special meetings, we have to stick to the agenda, so does it fall within?
it falls within, appointments, it says here, let's see,
Can I make a suggestion?
operational.
Can you whisper, can you tell him what you wanna say and then make sure that he's okay with it before you state it on the record? Maybe you could walk over and tell him what you
Sure.
wanna say?
Sure.
And then this way, if he says it's okay, then go ahead and say it.
What is this, double secret probation?
We talked about operation of first class staffing issues. future operations personnel staffing, let's see. Employment, appointment, so it's
We used to get a keg. We had these things.